Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our latest installment. We're almost getting this down to some kind of a science. It's a little scary. I'm a little freaked out by the whole thing. We're calling this Wildwood at Home. We're also doing a podcast thing. I believe it's going to be called like Chewing the Gristle with Greg Koch, something of that nature. And I'm here today with Brian Fallon, who you all know from the Gaslight Anthem ensemble. But also does some really awesome solo stuff. I've been watching some of your YouTube stuff where it's just you solo guitar and singing, and it's very, very powerful stuff. So how the heck are you? Where are you right now?
I'm at home in New Jersey.
So you are not only a native of New Jersey, but a continuing dweller.
Yes.
And whereabouts in New Jersey are you?
I'm down in the shore in Point Pleasant.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
You know, my last time I was in New Jersey, we do something in Asbury Park. So we go there, and I like that area. It's cool.
Oh, yeah. You do clinics in Russo's, right?
That's correctamundo, which I guess is okay to say on this particular. They're not a competitor. They're a compatriot.
Yeah, they're fine. I don't know.
So I've been there a couple times causing trouble and eating some fine cuisine there. And I just dig it. I always have a good time.
It's a nice place.
So for you living in New Jersey, how much of an impact did some of the iconic New Jersey musicians from Bruce Springsteen et al. Have on your approach towards music in general?
Well, probably huge, because that was like the proof for all of us that sort of said, like, you can kind of be from Nowhereville, New Jersey, but yet the possibility to be a huge worldwide success is, well, why not? Because and his message has always kind of been like, if I could do it, so can you. And I don't know, maybe we took that a little too far and we said, yeah, why not? Okay.
It seems to have turned out all right for you.
Yeah, it's been good. So I think that there's something in the air of, like, if you don't have much when you're looking around when you're young, you figure, well, there's got to be something better than that. So you just, it sort of takes the boundaries off of you.
I can dig it. And how about your mom being a folk singer? How, a lot of people rebel from what their parents did, but it seems like maybe that was a good thing for you in terms of role model and things of this nature. Yeah,
well, she kind of had it where she would just start giving me records, where most people had like a cool older brother or sister, but I didn't have any of that. So, my mom kind of was just like, here's a box full of tapes, go through these and figure out which ones you like. And, she said she would make suggestions, like, if you like Bob Dylan, try this, like Joni Mitchell. And if you like that, maybe go into something else too. And then here's Bruce Springsteen and all that, and it kind of went down the whole thing like that.
So how about when you were starting to make records? Was your mom overly critical? Was she supportive? How was that dynamic once you started to do it, in a more professional capacity?
She was definitely in. She just didn't, one thing she never did was, she always could have done it better than I could, like, especially singing and harmonizing and stuff like that. But she never ever said anything. Like, she never ever said, like, you're doing it wrong. She was just like, that's cool. Like, that's good. And then if I asked her a question, she would never ever give me the advice unless I asked her for it, which was cool.
That's cool. I just had this vision in my head. And, my dad was a lawyer. And when I wanted to be a musician, he was skeptical, to say the very least. But my favorite thing is when we'd be rehearsing in our basement when I was young, making all kinds of noise in the basement. My dad would get home around 6 p.m. and he'd come in the basement. It was like he'd walk down and the band's raging. We're doing our thing. And he would walk down like no one was there, wouldn't look at us. And he would go right over to my amp and he knew where the off button was. And he'd just turn it off. And then he'd turn back around and go right upstairs. And I'd just look at the guys and go, I guess we're done.
It's pretty clear at that point.
So when you started to rock a little bit more, was your mom cool with it, or was she more preferential to more of the folky vibe?
Well, no, my mom there was a limit. It was 8:00 And as long as it wasn't too loud, it was cool, but it had to go off at 8 o'clock. So no electric guitar blaring at 10 o'clock. But it was a reasonably loud volume before like there was any annoyance happening. So I don't know. I think I got lucky with that. We didn't have much, but I had like a nasty, like tiny crate amp that sounded terrible, but it was allowed to be loud.
Right.
So
I think about the reason why my mom didn't mind as much is because she had hearing aids. So she would just turn her hearing aids off, and she was cool with it.
Yeah, that's the way. I mean, I don't think that I spent most of my years practicing quite as much the guitar as I did the lyrics. So sure. I ended up practicing the guitar more. I'm suffering for those sins now.
Well, it seems like your accompaniment to your vocal stuff on the acoustic really sounds great, and you're playing some nice guitars. I take it you've got the bug. I mean, you like the guitars.
Few. I do. I don't have like a ton, but I've got enough where I'm like, these are really good. There's no dogs in the house. There's none.
Well, I noticed like even the electric stuff you do is 335s, Telecasters. So you kind of like the older stuff in terms of like the iconic guitars, right?
Yeah, I've never kind of messed around with like a Moss Rite or anything like that, because I sort of felt like if these work so good, right, I don't need to try anything else, and like I've got a couple Tellies that I really like, and I think that that's good. Like I don't know. I look at it like I'm not precious. I don't have a favorite, know, but like if it works, then it is good, and I don't like it to break.
Exactly. Well, and Telecasters are one of those things too, where it's just as I've said before, in a post-apocalyptic world, there will be Telecasters and cockroaches, and the Telecasters will be in tune. They're just they're indestructible, which is
they are 100%. But that's the I think that was the design, right? They were just trying to every part replaceable.
Exactly. And they cover all the bases. It's like a blank canvas. You can rock with them, country, funkify, you name it, it can do it all.
Yeah, and I find that is true.
There's 3 sounds and they're all good.
Yeah, every one of them is good. I actually people don't like the neck pickup, but I find that a neck pickup is nice.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. There's definitely a squishier thing that happens, even though that's not exactly a scientific term, but a squishier thing that happens on a neck pickup on a Telly than a Strat. Strat's a little harder and a little bit more unforgiving, whereas Telly's just a squishy and delish. Sometimes they're a little too wimpy, but when you get a good one, man, it's as good as it gets.
I love it. When you get a really, really good one, to me, as a matter of fact, I just got a good one from Wildwood Guitars.
Funnily enough. So what did you get?
I got a Wildwood 10. It's a Telecaster custom with the double bindings, Sunburst.
Yes.
And very exciting. And it has a little bit of the 59 neck on it that they did.
Yes.
So it's a little bit meatier, but not too meaty.
Right.
And but it sounds really good. Like I like it because any of the 10 series guitars that I get, like they come right out of the case and they're set up really nice, and you don't need to change the pickups. They sound really good.
Right.
It's just like, it's good and it's good to go. So I'm happy.
I don't know how many years ago now, because time just keeps on rolling. But there was one particular year, and I had started doing stuff with Wildwood, and I started using one of those 62 Wildwood 10. It was a sunburst one, it wasn't quite a real red sunburst, more of kind of a tobacco-y sunburst type of thing. But I remember the body was ash as opposed to alder, if I remember correctly. And I used that on a bunch of sessions. Then I took it out to NAMM and I played a bunch of gigs out there, played a bunch of things at the show, and that guitar just killed. And I have a recording, some video footage of me. It just was an awesome guitar. And for whatever reason, I didn't keep it. And so every time I go out to Wildwood, I think that's one of the reasons why the videos turn out as well as they do in terms of, people enjoy watching them and they seem to buy the guitars, is because I'm actually thinking about buying every one of those guitars when I'm playing.
It seems there was one in particular where you did a video recently for maybe over the winter for a Murphy gold top. with P90s, and it sold incredibly quickly. But I remember doing math like on my computer and going, if I sell this and if I do this a month and if I give this much blood, how can I afford? But you were playing it, and I remember you stopping and saying like, oh, like there was like something out of character where you were like really taken by it. It was awesome to see, which I like that. I love when anybody enjoys something. Oh, well,
there's often when those videos, that conversation you have with yourself, that's going on as I'm doing the video. If I get this one, if I put this aside, I wonder if I could, it happens. I've been pretty good as of late, though. I've been, shall we say, exercising self-control.